Recording. All right. I like it. Beautiful.
Oh, and it shows us the one screen. That's why the one screen stays up.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. So, let's go through, to tee this up. I think that, so something I've seen throughout the years, whether, this kind of is a piggyback to the whole delivering the demo, right? We talked about the art and the science that goes into delivering the demo, and careful approach, preparation, and design of the demo. So I'm also a very big proponent of selling the sizzle. So you guys have heard the cliche, it's the sizzle that sells, not the steak.
Lauren always says sizzle.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about that. The internal team's been talking about this a lot.
Okay.
And so I'll share this with you just as an analogy. I think this is pretty classic when you talk about selling the sizzle. So in the restaurant business, when fajitas come out, you know how they're always smoking and
Local cast iron.
Yeah. So that whole thing is this is literally selling sizzle. So before they deliver them out there, they actually squirt limes on there.
I didn't know that.
That's what makes the sizzle. So they squirt the hell out of limes all over that stuff, and that's what creates the smoke and the sizzle and everything else. So that when they're walking through the restaurant, they get people to go, oh God, that looks good. Oh God, I gotta give me some of those. And that's how they sell the shit out of fajitas. Sell the sizzle. No, that is absolutely no joke, nothing. That is absolutely spot on. So the whole point is there are things that you can do. And so actually let me go back and give you an example in the context of what we're talking about here. So I did share this with the internal team, so they're familiar with this. But so back when web conferencing started taking off and WebEx was really big and Microsoft was getting big on the scene, and Adobe came out with a platform called Adobe Connect. And we sold the crap out of Adobe Connect. I mean, it was like selling candy to kids. It was just, I don't think we ever had a demo that ended with somebody who didn't buy. I mean, it was just, we sold the shit out of it. And the biggest reason was exactly the same thing. It was the fajita, it was the sizzle. And what we ended up getting down to was looking at the demo and this whole notion of art and science and exactly everything that we've covered so far. But we were able to identify things that made the Adobe platform very different, very unique. And one of the biggest things was video and the ability to manage recorded video and things that you could do with recorded video. So we would put together something, and they also support Flash files. And so we put together some content that we used, that we incorporated into the demo that included multiple videos at the same time and how they could move and morph. And so people would look at this and they'd be like, holy crap.
So that's a lot of eye candy to it too.
Tons of eye candy. We would incorporate a Flash file that was nothing but refrigerator magnets. And everybody could move magnets around on the screen. And so we did these things that the prospects thought, wow, this is not WebEx. This is so different than WebEx. This is really cool. And so they bought it. And the moral of the story is, of all the stuff we showed them, they never used it. They used it for the same stuff that they use WebEx for, screen sharing, which it did fine. But it was screen sharing, it was presentation, it was the same thing, collaboration, presentation, training. It was all about the same type of concept. And at the end of the day, they just wanted it to be very simple, very easy, click a button and go. And so, but what got them to the point of purchase was the sizzle. It was the things that it could do. And so, I talk about getting on the bike and riding, and I mean, this was getting on the bike and doing wheelies and showing off all the things you could do, and the customer saying, I want that bike. They thought more about everything that was happening being because of the bike and because of the bike rider. And so, with all of this, I want to keep the approach to the demo very simple. Everything we've talked about. But I want you to have the ability to incorporate a couple of different tricks. And they may not seem like anything big, but, and I want to describe, I've got a couple to show you, a couple that I want to talk about so that you can have in your back pocket and be able to pull out during any demo. But the important thing is I want you to refer back to this and think about ways that you can add Sizzle to the demo. Things that you can do to show off when you're riding the bike. You know, new wheelies, new flames coming out of the back tire. You know, things that just make the demo really, really cool. And when you show off like that, and the prospect says, you know, holy crap, that is awesome. And you can say, yeah, wouldn't you like to incorporate this in your next team meeting? Absolutely. All right, we'll get you scheduled. I'll get your credentials by the end of the day. Run your first team meeting for you. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bang. So these types of things just give you more ammunition during the course of the demo. So a couple things that we came up with, and I alluded to this last week. The fact that you have a static URL for joining your meeting builds in. It allows for different types of sizzle. So I'll give you one example. Let's see if I can share my screen. I think I can. So let's see if this is coming up. Maybe. There we go. Okay. So when I let me minimize this. Go into Outlook. Okay. So when I go to schedule a meeting, so we've talked about the Outlook plugin, right? And that works great. I think it's awesome to have that. Again, because we have a static URL, though, this allows us the ability to go into new meeting request. All right, bring up the meeting request form. There we go. And so if I go up here to insert and signature, all right, so here's my regular signature, right? That's what usually comes up. I went ahead and I've created a VMR Plus signature. So when I click on that, it already has everything there to join the meeting. And I've also been able to, I've done this over time. I've updated it over time. And I've done some things with, giving different colors here so it's easier to read. I did something down here for the mobile dial-in only. So, I tweak it every little bit and make this so that it's very nice, aesthetically pleasing, accomplishes all the things that you need. But the big point to this is because the information never changes to join the meeting, it allows me to create this static invite template. And it doesn't need any communication with the server. It doesn't, nothing is generated at random. So all of those things, that the fact that it's all static, it's all the same, is what allows me to do this. And so the other thing that's nice about this is I would always encourage people to download the plugin because I think that is very professional, very common. But you're also going to come across people who say, we're not allowed to download plugins. We're locked down. Can't download anything. So the nice thing there is whenever that comes up, you can say, hey, no problem at all. We've got an integration with Outlook that doesn't require any installation, any plugins or anything. I can quickly show you how to do it. Okay. So it's a great way to diffuse any type of problems. Yeah. So this is just one. And personally, I love using this because it's so simple. I've gone through, I had to schedule umpteen different meetings for training to get everything on everybody's calendar. And it was great to be able to click a button, have all this information, and bam. So again, we're talking about simplicity, talking about ease of use, ease of scheduling, and whether or not someone uses the Outlook add-in or creates the email signature to do it, either way, you're accomplishing a pretty significant component when you talk about ease of use. So this is a tip or a trick that I really enjoy, the ability to customize an email signature and then use that for scheduling meetings, sending information, what have you. So then the other thing that I really like is again, playing on the whole information being static, always being the same. So we've only touched on the fact that we can use this just for an audio conference call. I think that that's just really important. It's very big because there's so much audio business that people have out there, and the ability for me to go into my VisualHuddle room and I can be on the web or I can be on the app and everybody else can just dial in and just treat it as a standalone audio conference call. I think that that type of an application is still used widely. And so the ability to, again, I wouldn't use that as a primary lead, a primary reason for somebody getting the account.
Yeah, that seems counterintuitive to
yeah,
kind of little.
but that is such a huge value add that, hey, Mr. Customer, this is great that you can use this for your team meetings every Tuesday. By the way, you mentioned that you do a lot of different, you host a lot of different conference calls. You're probably paying per minute, per connection for that service. You realize you can incorporate all that into your license fee here. And, we'll go through the details and help you understand it. But the fact that you can do it is still pretty big. So something that I did here, so there's also the mobile app that can be downloaded, and that can be used to join the meeting. So a couple of clicks of the mobile app, and you can be in the audio call. Then I've also, see if I can push this up here. I don't think it'll reach. So I've also saved the dial-in number in my favorites. And so with just a simple click, there's VMR conference call. So with just a simple click, it dials, and we'll start getting the echo in just a second. Hear it? And they're in. All right, I hung up so that we wouldn't get that.
That's pretty sweet, though.
But the whole
Shows
point,
number, too.
yeah, the whole point is that it was really easy to do. Mm-hmm. And all I did was take the same information that we have in the invite.
So is that mobile dial-in number is static as
Yes.
well? Gotcha,
Exactly.
gotcha.
Exactly. So that was very easy for me to save that number as a contact, add that contact as a favorite, and I even added a picture of VMR. And then, so I've got pretty much everybody in my family and VMR that I can call with one push of a button, bam, I'm in. So again, these are a couple different examples of different shortcuts and things that you can do. I'm a big proponent of keeping it simple. When you're in an actual meeting, I think that over the course of the next days and weeks, you'll be thinking about content that you can have readily available. One of the things we talked about was teeing up content that was specific to the user.
Yeah, having it already up.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
sure
You guys have the dual monitors, so I would absolutely play with staging content and things that look good, things that will help you add sizzle to your demo. And some of the things that you can try to play with are, because we have screen sharing, different ways to incorporate. You want to show off the fact that you can work on a document live, and as you change or alter that document, everybody sees it in real time, right? That's the powerful part of that. You can very easily bring up an Excel spreadsheet and work on that. Just play around with it. Play around with if you want to highlight the fact that you can present any content and alter that content, then think about what type of content you can use that adds sizzle. All right. The other thing that we'll be doing pretty soon is we'll get you a canned or created AVE presentation, so that you've got something that speaks to diversified. So that it's the intention there is that not necessarily that you're presenting this content during a demo, but that you are illustrating things that you can do when you present content, and you just happen to have a diversified PowerPoint presentation working. So what's nice about that is it's kind of an indirect commercial for what Diversified does, so that as you're going through your demo, you can say, oh, by the way, if you didn't know, at Diversified we do. Yes, we're very proud of our VisualHuddle platform, but we do encompass a lot more when it comes to just everything in the audiovisual world. So if you have any needs, any projects you're working on, or
additional kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll make it very easy to throw that out there during the demo, while not really distracting it from anything that you're trying to accomplish with the demo. So that's the intent there.
I like that.
And you never know. And the person could say, yeah, you know what, Sally Sue is working on a project right now. And yeah, I'll give you your number when we're done. Say, yeah, great. I'll have one of my cohorts get in touch with her, and they can see if we can be of assistance with that. And that's when I would go. So, when you guys are planning for building out this new space, how are you guys going to collaborate? What type of documents are you going to collaborate on? Would it be helpful to be able to see each other while you're doing that? Absolutely. All right, that's, stay on track, stay on with the ability to use VisualHuddle. So let me think if I can think of any other shortcuts that we've done. I'm big on simplicity. I'm big on different forms of content that you can bring in. Down the road when we have the ability to upload different types of content, whether it be video or what have you, I think that'll be big. The ability to incorporate the chat feature, I think, will be big. So when these things become available, let's work together and come up with a really good way to highlight them during the demo.
Did you say it'd be like in here?
What's that? Yeah. So we're only talking about a few months.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
If we do share video, I've noticed we've had trouble with the audio side of that. Is that something we're going to run into a lot?
So what I've done, so when we were in the room with the big 120-inch screen, and we were really pushing the limits on what we were doing. So when you screen share, like we were a minute ago, sharing the Outlook calendar, when you screen share, think of it as we're in our meeting, and I'm opening up a window, and through that window, I'm showing you my screen. So everything that still happens on my screen happens on my computer, right? So all you're doing is seeing what's happening on my computer through this window that's into the meeting room.
Okay.
And the reason I describe it like that is because when you have things like sound is still playing on my computer, but it's not playing in the meeting room because, again, we're just looking at my computer through the window. And so the only way to really continue to have that sound would be to, a couple different ways. We'd have to plug in sound so that we're getting sound from my computer into the meeting room, which is certainly something we could do. Or if it's recorded content and the ability to stream that content is, instead of streaming it on my computer, stream it in the meeting room. And I think that's one of the things that they're working on. So in other words, screen sharing is awesome for being able to view a person's desktop or
There'd be other things we'd have to.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering because we kind of have seen it throughout the week.
Yeah. So there's ways to do it, things to play with. There's ways to get your PC into the meeting, and I think once you do that, then you'd be fine with screen sharing and getting audio in there as well. And those are things that I'd encourage you to work on. The things that I've provided here are meant to be just the first step, a stepping stone of things. I really encourage and challenge you guys to come up with your own tips and tricks and ways that it's cool, ways that you can incorporate it into your own life, FaceTiming with your girlfriend, doing things with your parents, with your friends. I just think that the more that you leverage the platform and use it in your everyday, the more that it becomes an ingrained communications tool that becomes your go-to. You're as tied to it as you are your cell phone. that's where not only will you have the comfort level of getting on the bike and doing all these tricks, but that's where you'll have a comfort level of expanding the limits and thinking to yourself, you know what, girlfriend's got a phone, buddy's got a phone, what if I could do this, and at the same time we get the content, and that's what I want you to do.
Okay.
Push the limits. Come up with different ways that you can
Show it off.
exactly show it off.
Just a little off-topic question that I was a little curious. We're talking about last week. We're reflecting on. I was thinking about what Patty was saying about billables coming in from a different soft client. What did she mean exactly when she was saying this?
So was that when?
So coming in from like Skype or business Skype. I keep wanting to say business like that. Business.
So,
if you
I think it had to do with. Yes. So
WebEx was the only one that's not.
no. So okay. So when you look at here, I'll share my screen. So when you look at all the things that you can do, all the ways to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In fact, I'll use it right here. All right, because on the portal there's the drop down, but here you've got all these things. So I think the point was, if you come in from a video conference device, right, the first one,
Okay.
to say that it's free to come in from a video conferencing device is true only to the extent that somebody has a video conferencing device, meaning that it's not free. They have to have a license, or they have to have a video conferencing device.
They had to have already
that's
paid
right.
for it.
That's
what she was saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I think the example she gave was Skype. So, in other words, if
They would have already had to pay for it to be using it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's essentially, if you have these things, a video conferencing device, or if you have a Skype for Business license, if you have a mobile device, then you can leverage what you already have to be able to join the meeting.
Gotcha. Makes
And
sense. You were right.
Yeah.
You were right. We were
I wasn't
talking
sure
about-
either when I explained it, though, so that's why I told you to ask somebody else.
no, it's good. It's all good. The intent here is that these are presented merely as access points.
Gotcha.
So you can come into your VisualHuddle room leveraging any of these various access
Yeah,
points.
you don't get Business Skype for free with this service.
Correct.
But gotcha. If you have it already, it's free to use.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's the intent. And when she talks about, when Patty mentioned that you have to have a license of that already, that's what she means. You have to have.
So when you're addressing that, you should say, like, if you were coming in on already, if you already own one of these, then you would be able to use this service for free without. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the way I would present it is, hey, we provide the ability to enter a room through any of the devices that you may already have. And so what we're really trying to do is help you leverage a tool that you've already invested in, whether that be a video conferencing device, whether that be Microsoft Skype for Business, or just a mobile deployment of tools.
Use it as like a diffusing tactic in a way, I guess, if they already have something. Oh, we already use Skype for Business. Well, again, you can still use that, but we're just helping you integrate.
Exactly. Yeah, I would say that the real big point to this is we help you leverage tools and devices that are likely already deployed strictly and solely in an effort to be able to add value to those devices as access points for joining a VisualHuddle room. So that it's not, just doing it one way and scrapping whatever technology you've already invested in. And where I think, the ultimate example there is telling people that, hey, if you've already invested in video conferencing technology, especially if it was set up or you used it where it was only to be able to be used internally, now we can take that same equipment and resurrect it and give it absolutely new life where you can use it in the same way that we're meeting right now. So with anybody, anywhere in the world, you can be in your room, your video conferencing room, and someone else can be on a tablet or an iPhone or a PC or leveraging Skype for Business to come in. So all of that just now brings, we're the glue that hold all of these technologies together to help you be able to meet.
That's sweet.
All right. Let's see. I think that is about everything I've got for tips and tricks, and there'll be more. We'll come up with more even during training, and can't wait till you guys are adding more and saying, "Hey, Ken, what do you think about this? You think this would be a cool tip or trick?" All right. Let's do this. I will end the recording.
Speaking of like email signatures, how do we design our own sort of like TI diversified